Well, greetings and thanks for joining us today for our eighth episode of Light Bulb Moments. Remember, money isn't the most important thing in life, but it is reasonably close to oxygen on the gotta have it scale. So I'm Tom Kuhn from Qnity. I'm your host and curator. Whether you're with us live today or whether you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for joining us. We're here to take what is overwhelming, confusing, and complicated and turn it into a simpler path towards financial success and wellness, following an approach that's simple, visual, and actionable. Prosper, manage your ATM, your attention, time, and money. It's not lost on us that this is your precious attention and time, and we certainly hope that you'll get a return on your money, perhaps by one actionable insight that you might have today. Past recordings are posted in the Plan for Profits portal for those of you that are in our Money SBO program. It's also on YouTube. We welcome the school community always, and very much are pleased that the school community as well as the salon and spa community come together to spend some time in community on these weekly sessions. All right, so we are going to welcome again to the Brain Trust, starting with Mr. Will Smith. And Will, let's see you. There you are. How are you?
Hey, Tom, thanks for having me. I'm great.
Well, you've been a guest on here. I think it's the third time or something like that. So you're going to get. We'll go right to the punchline. You'll get your second or third $1 million light bulb. You're down in Florida, though.
I am. I'm in Florida. I've been here since Sunday morning for some other related events, and it's been really eye-opening spending some time here in the wake of the storm.
And now you normally live in Vancouver, is that right?
That's correct.
All right. And so tell us what it's like. I mean, when I was on with you at a prep call, it's like, so what's it down like? I mean, I've got this imagery. So what's it like down in that area in terms of, what we might expect when we get down to Florida, where we're going to
Yeah,
be at St. Pete?
great question, Tom. And certainly, I'm sure many of us have had friends and family reaching out and saying, "You're going where for a conference?" And especially up in Canada, it was like, everybody just assumed that all of Florida was devastated. In reality, the Tampa Bay area is doing quite well. And so, I got here and I've seen some remnants of the storm, very, very little. I was told by one group that, the cleanup efforts happened almost immediately. And so it's actually really difficult to even see the effects. However, everybody is also very aware that, 100 miles from here, salons have literally been washed away.
Mm.
And so it's devastating. So there's this interesting survivor's guilt that keeps coming up from the people in the Tampa Bay area. They're saying, I'm so lucky that it changed course because this was ground zero. This was the bullseye of the storm, and it took a right turn at the last minute. And so they're conflicted between feeling really grateful for missing it, but also really feeling for the people down in Fort Myers and surrounding area that are seriously reeling from the storm. And just within our group, I can tell you, I talked with the James Griffith group. Two of their salons are back in good shape, but their Boca location is still going to be a few weeks out from reopening.
They're going to do a special segment on Monday. They've got some extraordinary leadership that has stepped up, and it's been added to the segment. I think it's going to be a very special segment on Monday morning. So excited about that. So you are from Green Circle, and I'm going to let you, I think that many, many people that are with us today know who Green Circle is, but in case they don't or need to be reminded, why don't you give us just a brief description of Green Circle, and then why don't you describe what your role is there?
Sure. So Green Circle is really the industry's sustainability strategy. Over 13 years now, we've really crafted a strong program that delivers against a lot of the operational and financial elements of going green, from 95% waste recovery to making it actually financially lucrative for those businesses that are getting involved. And, it's not lost on me that the conversation we just had was really the whole impetus for the launch of this movement. Certainly, hurricanes and forest fires and floods have been happening as long as anybody can remember. But the increasing acceleration and increasing severity of these storms is really a result of human-made climate change. And by that, I mean, as the temperature warms up, it's warming up, our air, it's warming up our water. And that's what's creating these Cat 4 and Cat 5 storms. This is really what we're kind of in a battle against. And so, where that really intersects with Pro Beauty is that every industry needs to find its own solution to draw down its carbon emissions and its greenhouse gas emissions. And so what Green Circle does is we provide a really simple turnkey solution for salons to be able to do that. And not just salons, but we work at the manufacturer, the distributor level. Obviously, where the 2 to 10 group is involved and where I'm involved is I work with all of the multi-location groups to ensure that they have a strong and operationable solution for this for the sustainability initiative. And so it's supporting them with their waste reduction, making it at minimum cost neutral, but ideally revenue positive for the business, and then ultimately giving them a great story that they can tell to support recruitment, retention, and ultimately sharing that goodwill story with the community to actually draw in new green-minded consumers.
We have 2 conferences a year right now, the Phil, and then we really more manage the 2 to 10 conference. The Phil is really the one that is really total Qnity. You guys have really been what I would consider to be the prototype sponsors and partners. And I want to give you a shout out on that because you haven't used it as a forum to over commercialize your product. You provided great content, and you're really in the spirit of great partners as we host a conference. And your community and our community, there's some overlap, but very much appreciate you and how you handle things. Now, you're doing something special this year at 2 to 10. And I heard about this the other day. I was like, wow, that's the greatest. It's awesome. And it has to do with the Phil. So give us a little bit of a tease on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually doing a couple of special things, but I think what you're referring to is our giveaway. So we think it's super important that people experience not only 2 to 10, but also the Phil. There is a lot of magic in there, and certainly we were really excited to have been given the opportunity to attend back in the spring. So we want to gift that opportunity forward. Green Circle will be giving away 5 tickets to the Phil throughout the programming at 2 to 10. So the first one is actually going to be given away in our session. We've got a roundtable session, which will actually be made up of a number of panelists. I can share more about that in a minute, but we're going to be giving away 1 ticket there, and then we'll actually be giving away a few other tickets towards the end of the event, so that Green Circle members and incumbent Green Circle members, those who actually sign up at the event, will have an opportunity to really experience all of the additional education that comes from the Phil programming.
So tell us about the what the segment you're involved in, what you're going to cover.
Yeah, sure. So I sort of teased it out earlier when I was talking about green business and the idea of a green business strategy. The sort of working theme for this panel session is good for business, good for the planet. And so it's going to be 3 Green Circle members as well as Green Circle Salons. That's Bob Steele Group, that's Nuovo Salons, and Paris Parker, and really sharing sort of what the different elements of sustainability entail. And it's a way to sort of examine the 5 functions that all of our businesses are trying to navigate, and understanding how a sustainability initiative can really support those 5 functions, and ultimately how a Green Circle sort of connects the dot between all of those disparate 5 functions into one comprehensive turnkey strategy.
One of the things that I also very much admire about Green Circle is that you probably more than any other organization we work with, I can't be absolute here, but you really feel a sense of the mission of what you do. I mean, all of your presentations, I mean, you said you're doing a presentation on the sustainability mission. You're not doing a presentation on Green Circle. You're very much tied to your mission. I like that about you. I think that Shane, the founder and the CEO, really lives and breathes that. And it's something else that I genuinely admire about you and your company. One last thing here before we get to Art here, which I'm super excited to bring into the conversation in a moment here, is you are going global. That has gotta, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about that, but you're going to Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Is that right? And
That's right, the Benelux. Yeah,
that's your first foray out of North America.
that is. It is
Okay.
indeed. And so we launched in 2009 in Toronto. We launched in 2014 in Chicago. And really through those two avenues, we've been able to expand across the country on both sides of the border. And now we're jumping across the pond. And so just really quickly, I'll tell the story. We were at Coiffure EU, sharing the Green Circle sustainability mission. There were a couple of audience members who were really taken by this, and they just happened to be in that Benelux region. And they were much like me back in 2010. They were so taken by the story, the opportunity, that they said, what can we do to support this, to really help this flourish in Europe? And so fast forward a couple of years, here we are, and we're just sort of at the precipice of launching in across the European theater.
Well, I love it. Let's everybody give Will a virtual round of applause. Give him a little shout out in the chat. Send a little love. Also, JP, or a member of our team, will be sending this to you. Put this in your collection of $1 million light bulbs. Will, we'll see. I can't wait to see you this weekend. It's been a while to see you face to face, so it'll be fun. So.
Absolutely. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you, Aaron, and the whole Qnity team, as well as all of the 2 to 10 members. So thanks so much for having me, and I'll see you next weekend.
All right. Thanks again, Will.